Thank you, gentlemen. First frame, Jiang Jun, the break.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to table one. Mark Selby against a young man from China, Jiang Jun. Very promising young prospect. Left-hander, very gifted, but he's up against one of the best. And just relating to the tribute, what a wonderful tribute it was. I'm sure we're going to see plenty more this week. It'll be, sorely missed John this week. What a wonderful commentator. Delighted and that I've spent so many times in the commentary box with him, and certainly miss him sadly. Dominic, you would have shared the commentary box with him, of course, as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Ken. Great loss. I mean, one of his famous sayings, of course, was, "There's always a gap." Well, there certainly will be in the commentary box. A gap that can never be filled, really. And my heart goes out to Rosie and all his loved ones, of course, his family. Great loss to our sport.
Yeah, just before the World Championship, there's going to be a little memorial for John in the Sheffield Cathedral. Certainly for all his friends and family that couldn't make the funeral in Spain, so that will be a nice sort of tribute to him. Long pot here for Jiang Jun. Needs good cueing.
Well, certainly got a good cue ball. The pot was a fair distance away. Just 20 years old, Jiang Jun. They'd never played before, Mark Selby and he. So this is their first meeting. But he does have a tournament highest break of 141, and he did get to the quarterfinals of the Scottish Open in 2025. So a capable player, but a player that's got a lot to learn in terms of gaining experience on the big stages such as this.
One.
Well, that's a wonderful opener from Mark Selby. Finished nicely top side of the baulk line as well. Nice angle on this brown.
Five.
Certainly worth another look, having to elevate the butt of the cue in the air, to dig down into the cue ball, to get the spin on it, to control it around the angles, and did a very good job of that. This is the time of the season, of course, when all the top players are looking to sharpen their tools ahead of the World Championships, which will begin in April, as it always does.
Six.
Yeah, we saw that little snippet interview about Mark Selby, how well he's been playing, of course. Beat Trump in the final Champion of Champions, final of the UK Championship as well. And then the Champions League, Wu Yi's in the final, 3-1. Been very consistent. He's back on the winner's rostrum, and the confidence is back as well. So important for Mark Selby. And when he's on his game, Dominic, because
12.
He's such a wonderful safety player, he's a B game, C game even. But when he's potting those balls and scoring, when his confidence is up, so difficult to play against.
Yeah, absolutely,
13.
Ken. I've always likened Mark Selby to Novak Djokovic. And by that I mean that when he's absolutely at his best, he's just about as unbeatable as any player could ever be. I think Stephen Hendry shares my view there as well. And he is a confidence player. He works very, very hard, Mark Selby, on the practice table. But when he is on form, he's a terrific potter and a great
20.
break builder. He's made 955 career centuries. So I'm sure at some point next season he'll eclipse the 1,000 mark.
21.
Yeah, I think probably Mark's only downfall. He's probably his biggest critic himself. And
28.
sort of a little bit hard on himself when he hasn't performed or hasn't played well. But a wonderful
29.
cueist, and as you said, what a break builder when he gets going. I mean, he's renowned for his safety play, but it's his break building that, you know, has kept him at the top of the game for so long.
And Ken, when you think of some of the other games greats, people like Ronnie O'Sullivan and Mark Williams,
36.
John Higgins, they're all 50 years and counting in terms of their age. Mark Selby just 42, so he's got a good few years in him yet to achieve more in the game. He's won 4 world titles, and I think his chances of winning a 5th this year are as good as they've ever been.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Totally agree. He'll be in the mix for sure. It's been such a wonderful season. So many of the top players have been playing well. And they'll all have a
44.
chance at Crucible in April and finish in May, of course. But first things first, we want a good run up to it. This is what he's
45.
normally good at. Well, he's got on the pink here, so the pink pots, which is great, because once he pots that, he's starting to split these reds. I'm not entirely sure. Just want to be on one here. When needs the red, just needs to slow down. He's okay. Beautiful shot from Mark Selby. They're all there now.
51.
Yes, when you play a shot like this, what you should be capable of is controlling the cue ball, but as Ken has suggested there, what happens to the reds? Well, you have no idea, but they've fanned out wonderfully here for Mark Selby. Who'd expect Nat would go on and win the frame
52.
from here. Chance of a century break to begin proceedings here. Pink and black still available. Pink's a little tied up, but that won't worry him. The black is certainly free and clear.
$54. $55.
Well, that one's certainly gone a little bit
60.
too far. Trying to get on those 2 reds into this left corner pocket. Bit of a stretch, but he's a tall man, well over 6 foot. Mark Selby. No problem.
61.
Screw down for, well, he's got options, of course, but could screw right down for the red near the black, who just put himself, give him a couple of options for a couple of reds here, really. Yeah, it's the red near the black. Perfect. Well played.
63. $64.
It's sort of a good indication as well, isn't it, Dominic? You know, when you look at the
69.
century board, even for this season, he had a 73 last season, but he's already up to 61 this
70.
season and counting. And he's sure to go with so many tournaments still left. You know, There's every chance that he add another maybe 10, 15, even possibly 20 centuries to that tally. So that it gives an indication of how well he's playing.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Ken. Jiang
78.
Jun has been precious as wrong. He had an attempt at a long red early on in the frame. Thought he got away with it. Certainly did get a good cue ball, but it wasn't good enough. Lightning start. And this is what the top players are capable of so often these days, Ken. Beginning a match like this, a best of 7. And they can start so quickly, pot a good
83.
long ball, and this is the result.
Yeah, he's laying down the marker. Could bring the red off the cushion here. Just over the
84.
middle pocket. Yeah, just like that. Perfect. Yeah, you sort of, you know your opponent's going to be a little bit nervous playing you on the TV and stuff, and you want to lay down a marker to say, you miss a pot, and this is what's going to happen. And puts extra pressure on the young opponent's choice
89.
of shot the next time he comes to the table. But this has been an excellent start from Mark Selby so far.
90.
He's probably looking at some of the action on the other table adjacent to this one. Barry Hawkins is in action. Probably wants to forget about this first frame.
$96. $98.
So, great for the century. I'm sure he'll get a wonderful round of applause as well. Here we go.
101.
Crowd love a century indeed. 956 career, 62 for the season.
$105. $110.
Bit of a stretch, but no problem. Pink is in.
116.
The black for a total clearance. And a wonderful start from the defending champion. Mark Selby takes a break of 123 to win the first round. What a start. He leads 1-0.
Thank you. Second frame, Mark Selby to break.
Yes, thank you, Katrin. Thank you, Kyron. Interesting thoughts there. Well, Jiang Jun has an opportunity of a long straightish red to either corner. Black is available into both pockets, but there's a lot of pressure on this, given what we saw from Mark Selby in frame one.
That's worrying. It's quite a long way away from that attempted pot, but even worse for the young man, where the cue ball is finished. It's perfect angle on this red just to run it through for the black to the opposite corner pocket.
One.
And he's got a lovely angle he can play here. Nice little cannon into one of those reds. Just the red just above the black and to the right. If he plays a little cannon into that, just push it out away. It'll be on the other red into the left corner. Perfect.
Eight. Nine.
Chose going to the pack of reds there because there are already so many reds scattered to the right of the pack. Even if
16.
the reds he went into didn't break open well, the chances were that he'd be on something else, but he didn't catch the reds there at all. He just cannoned the pink. As you can see, that red that's near the pink spot probably doesn't pop past the red that's in the foreground there, so could be end of break unless there's something else that cuts in.
And that red doesn't pot. He's just going to play a good safety shot here. And maybe get that cue ball either behind the pink or up behind the yellow here. It was quite incredible, that last shot, though, wasn't it, Dominic? He got so much spin on it.
Mark Selby.
But just
16.
not enough to miss all the reds, just hit the pink and still not be on a red there.
Yeah, he really does get so much reaction out the ball, Mark Selby. I was having a chat to him in the recent Championship League in Leicester, and he was telling me that his tip size is 8.7 millimetres, and that's very small. Particularly, I think, Ken, for somebody who's such an all-round player. It's unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, normally tip size are between 9, 9.5. But he's left the plant on, I think, here for the young man. Can he get enough of the red to make this plant into the corner pocket? He'll be screwing back. He'll be on blue or pink for sure. Oh, didn't get any screw.
One.
On the cue ball.
this is a big mistake. If you're applying backspin to the cue ball, but when you actually strike it, you've hit pretty much middle of the ball and the cue ball hasn't done anything, that's quite a big mistake, and I don't know the reason for that. Maybe there was some body or head movement there. But he really ought to have been on a colour somewhere there. Cue ball didn't do anything at all. He could pot the pink, but the cue ball is hampered by the red just behind it, and the pink is very straight. Surely he's not thinking of the green. But I think the problem for Jiang Jun here, he's a young man making his way in the sport. If you have a look at this fantastic auditorium here at the Welsh Open, at Venue Cymru in Llandudno. Yeah, he's just making his way in the game, and he's got a lot to learn. He'll be learning all the time, particularly against players like Mark Selby. So, of course, tactically, he's going to be vastly inferior, you'd think, to Mark Selby. So I think he's got to play an attacking game and not show Mark Selby too much respect.
Yeah, he's learning this trade all the time. He's in the right place. He's up in Sheffield in the Things Run Way Academy there. Lots of good players to play in there every single day. Very diligent practicer. Puts a lot of hours in the practice table. And yeah, I mean, this is a wonderful test for him, isn't it? You know, he picked up a cue. These are the situations that he'd be dreaming about, playing the top players on the TV. Can he find one good long pot here? That's more like it.
One.
Great shot. And he's on the black as well. It's always the first 4 or 5 shots maybe in a break. It's just so important just to settle down. Build up a little bit of rhythm. Get that cue arm going. And also for his confidence as well. Get a feel of the table. And he certainly could do that here. So many open reds, so he's got a lot of choice. So excellent opportunity here for the young man.
9.
To accrue a bit of points and a little bit of confidence here.
$16. $17.
I think the difficult thing when you're just making your way in the game as well, and you're playing a match like this, you're very aware of your surroundings, the audience, the atmosphere generally, the television cameras. And you can be very self-aware, and the last thing you're thinking about is the table and the balls, and the fact that you're playing a snooker match where Mark Selby be thinking none of that. He'll be just focusing on the table and the balls and trying to eke out a very comfortable win here, as he normally does, of course. It takes quite a long time to become accustomed to playing in front of the television cameras and to feel like you're making it your home, really.
24.
Well, that was a beautiful little shot he played, didn't he? With lots of left-hand side to just widen the angle and play perfect position on this red.
$25.
He'd be disappointed with that. He needed that cue ball to just travel another couple of revolutions and he would have been perfect on the black, but he's a little bit straight here now. Yeah,
sometimes you can try and be too clever with the recovery. positional shot here. He could be just as well screwing off the side cushion to cannon the two reds together to be on one to the left centre here. He's played for precise position. Now is he on anything? Does this red closest to the cue ball pot? It must do. Little straight
32.
and little close to it though, for comfort.
$33.
A little bit unusual, isn't it? I mean, because of course the players aren't wearing any waistcoats. Chinese, when they're practicing, they like to put the chalk on the table. Whereas Mark Selby has brought his little pouch, because that's the way he would practice in the club, with a little pouch on his trousers. So far, so good.
40.
Absolutely, Ken. Encouraging signs here for the young Chinese.
$41.
Clearly a very capable player, but it's producing your best snooker in situations like this against the top players. That's very tough to do.
Doesn't want to be hampered with the red. He's okay. He's hoping to be on the bottom red of those two, but you might have to take this red that's near the pink spot.
$49.
Yeah, back in prime position. Nice angle on the blue. He can just stun down. He's dragged it in, and he's held it. It's okay.
54.
He looks pretty relaxed.
$55.
Yeah, he's just getting on about his play, and it's fairly undemonstrative, or he certainly has been so far. Turned professional 3 years ago. He has made 43 professional centuries on the tour. In fact, he made 18 centuries last season. He's made 16 this season, so he does appear to be a player that's getting better and better.
$62.
Quick glance at the score. 47 in the lead, so red and black be enough.
63.
Then I must say, been an impressive break this so far. Make sure the black, no real heroics here. Yeah, okay. His opponent needs a snooker. He could have been nicer on the red,
70.
but as I said, it's just to make sure of it. Mark Selby having a quick look. He will come back to the table should his young opponent miss this red. It's not a certainty, this. But no problem.
71.
Fantastic.
I'm sure he's gaining confidence with every shot that he plays here, Jiang Jun, and all of a sudden it could be a real threat.
$76. $77.
Yeah, he played that lovely, didn't he? Purposely left a nice angle on that red. Knew when he was potting it, he was going to bring the other red into play. Possible. 119, still on. Oh, that's a shame.
Jiang Jun.
Yeah, no 70 break from Jiang Jun. We'd be delighted that break of 78 that he made there, and he's managed to level the scores up. It's 1 frame all.
Okay, thank you. Yes, please. Thank you. 3rd frame. Jiang Jun to break.
Yes, he certainly will. I'm sure he will, because that's a real settler, that break of 77. Took them very nicely indeed. He's got to hit this pretty good, the safety shot. That red on the left-hand side could be in the way. Ooh. He may have left the red into the right corner here. But it could have been easier. It's a little bit close to the cushion with the cue ball. It is missable. And certainly pots, but far from easy.
There was a lot of pressure on that red. I don't think he was entirely certain that he'd finish on the pink. Even if he did pot it, could Could have done with being straight on the red, but I think Mark Selby was fortunate in that the poor safety shot that he played resulted in that cue ball finishing so close to the side cushion as it did.
1.
Mark Selby will be aware that if he does play for the pink, that once it's respotted, it may be a little tied up.
6.
The black is tied up currently, so this will test Mark Selby's break building abilities here. Let's try and bring the high value colours into play.
Seven.
Well, he must have played for the angle for the red to try and dislodge maybe this red and black here and try and bring the black into play. Yeah.
14.
Didn't catch the red as full as he would have liked, so he's left it a little bit low. But if he can pot this black, he will be going into the reds. No problem. And now is he on a red? Is there something potable? He'd be extremely
21.
unfortunate if he's not. Can he get through to this red into the right corner? Oh, it's pretty tight. Well, I think he's on it. What do you think, Dom? Pretty tight, isn't it? Maybe a little bit aside?
I think he'll have to play this with a little bit aside, which is something he can create very easily with that small tip size of his. It's a sort of shot I don't think he'll have much problem with in actual fact. Just a merest hint of side, just so that when the cue ball makes contact with the red, it spins it towards the pocket. Well, you might be right, Ken. Maybe it went anyway.
22.
Well, that wasn't his best shot. He didn't get the black into the
29.
middle of the pocket. He's still on this red.
But
Cue ball just ran away slightly, so he needs maybe a cannon on a couple of reds just to hold the cue ball. There is enough of a gap that he could come off the top cushion, but he may play a little cannon here. The two reds just below the pink spot. No, he's going to play the cannon into the pink. He could hold it, and he's played it perfectly. Good shot.
35. $36.
Just a fraction too far with the cue ball there. You have to fight to hold position for the red nearest the black into the right corner, the one that's just above the black. Played another cannon. You don't really want to be playing cannons if you can avoid it, because they can easily go wrong, but on that occasion
43.
it's worked out well enough.
Yeah, and also when you play little cannons like that, and the reds are all pretty near each other, that you could land right on top of a red and just have be very, very awkward. This time he was okay.
44.
But I tell you what a blistering pace this match started off in. 12 minutes first frame with 123, 15 minutes for 77 in the second. And it looks like, for all money, we're going to have another frame with a break
51.
in this frame. Just gone a little bit too far, but shouldn't be a problem with the rest for Mark Selby.
Okay. 52. $59.
Like you see, 100% pot success for Mark Selby, 85 from Jiang Jun.
60.
It's very, very good. It doesn't get better from Selby's point of view, as these reds absolutely perfect.
$67. $68. $75. $76.
Well, this is a little bit awkward. Ah, good pot. Very, very good. He's going to need another good one to keep the break
83.
going. And he's found it.
84.
It's quite possible that we could have another century from Mark Selby. Possible
89.
140.
$90. $95. $96.
Well, that certainly wiped his feet, but it went in more importantly. And this for another century. What a great start from both players to this match. Excellent stuff from the defending champion. Another century.
103.
Possible 138 if he takes the black. May take the pink though.
104.
Perfect angle. Back up for the yellow. But when you consider it, I think the highest break in the previous match was just 64. I mean, this is incredible stuff.
Yeah, the first match of the
110.
day featuring Welshman Jack Jones in action against Liam Highfield was a lengthy affair. It took the best part of 2 3/4 hours.
112.
Highest break in that match was made by Jack of 92. Chance for a second total clearance here from Mark Selby in 3 frames.
115. $119.
Yeah, he was a little bit fortunate, and that young man can count himself a little bit unfortunate because he had Mark Selby in a lot of trouble. Didn't play a good safety. Got away with it slightly, left an
124.
awkward shot. Young man was forced into taking it on, missed it, and has sat down ever since. But this has been an exemplary
130.
break from the 4-time world champion and defending champion. 137 from Mark Selby. What a break and what a start to this match from both players, but particularly from that man, Mark Selby. He leads 2-1.
Thank you. The 4th frame, Mark Selby to break.
Jiang Jun comes to the table here with an opportunity of a long red to this right corner. But he's 2-1 behind. This 4th frame is an important one to him to avoid going 2 behind with potentially 3 to play. I don't think he has a natural angle for the cue ball to come around the back of the black and the red, so he may just have to apply a little bit of backspin here. But Kyra mentioned this just now in the studio, that he does hit the ball overly hard, and you can normally tell when players are doing that through nerves and tension because the ball strike isn't clean and crisp. He does seem to be overplaying some of these shots.
1.
Well, he's back in again. And the ball's, well, he's got at least another 4 open reds there. Play on this red just left of the pink. Try and get that black on its spot. Oh, has he overhit it? Anxiously stopped in his tracks, his shake of the head.
4.
You always look at the body language of a player. There's a little shake of the head there from Mark Selby, and there you see why. Is he going to swerve this? Is he going to take a chance? But it's a bit more riskier, this shot. No, he doesn't like it. What a reprieve for the young man.
Mark Selby, 4.
Well, that's certainly a typical Mark Selby safety shot, finding the bulk cushion with the cue ball. And I think when Mark Selby's on form, he does that better than anybody. That's a great riposte from Jiang Jun. The blue would appear to be blocking the right-hand side of the pack of reds. There are 4 reds in a line just below the pink there that possibly could be made into a plant if Mark Selby feels it's his only option in terms of trying to get a good cue ball, because I can't see an easy safety shot here. But you can see those reds. It's unlikely, I think, that that could be made into a plant. Oh, I just caught a glimpse of 2 other reds that could be a plant to the left corner, but I'm not entirely sure they are either. But there's no doubt about it, Mark's in a bit of trouble here.
Could have left an easier shot. Jiang Jun, if he hit blue full ball, he might have left a straightforward pot. What's he going to play here? He's got a straightforward safety shot, playing off maybe 4 cushions back behind the yellow, but is he taking this red on? He certainly is. Oh, he's very unlucky.
1.
Once again, didn't get the backspin, but what a pot. Great shot, and very brave as well.
Yellow ball, thank you. Brown ball.
Well, his problem here is the red that's nearest the left corner. He's got to hide that somehow, or leave it so difficult that Mark Selby
Jiang
wouldn't
Jun,
risk taking it
1.
on, and I think that's probably good enough.
1.
That's a wonderful pot and wonderful control to hold for the pink. Knew exactly what he was doing there. And that bottom red does pot into this bottom right corner pocket, and he can
7.
hold for the black as well.
But the way these reds are configured isn't ideal from Mark Selby's point of view, because all these reds do seem to be in one another's way a little. But this red itself does look fairly tight.
Eight.
Oh, what's he going to get on here, Ken? I wonder if the red that's closest to the cue ball there might just about pot to the right corner. I think that's the only ball he could play for.
Yeah, maybe a red that's available into the center pocket. We'll soon find out.
15.
Oh, maybe not. No, nothing available there. So I think it was the previous shot that he left himself so hampered he couldn't do anything with the cue ball, just make sure of the black and the 7 points. So a good safety shot required. Get that cue ball tight to the ball cushion as best you can.
Mark Selby, 15.
Jiang Jun's problem here with his return safety is that red that's closest to the left-hand side cushion. It'd be easy for the cue ball to cannon into that if he catches the safety wrong. Well, that was a long, long way off from Mark Selby. The double kiss has certainly done him no favours there. We'll have another look at it here. This was an attempted pot from Mark Selby. He was attempting to run through off 2 cushions for the black, but the double kiss has really done for him there. Now can Jiang Jun take full advantage of that mistake and level this match up at 2-all. Still 99% pot success, Mark Selby. That was the first pot that he's missed in 83 potted attempts. But that particular mistake could prove costly.
Eight.
Oh, this
Jiang
could
Jun,
be
8.
very costly. He was a long way away from that attempt of a pot. Just looked where he was trying to leave it in a situation where he could only leave the red he was taking on, and that's exactly the way it's worked out, and the way Mark Selby's been playing. You'd expect him to do some damage with this visit here.
Blue ball. Six. Seven.
Well, Jiang Jun had a great chance there. Lost position fairly early on and again rather bludgeoned that red into the green pocket and was missed by a long way. Mark Selby will be feeling very good now about his prospects of winning this match rather comfortably.
15.
He's not a player, Mark Selby, to take anybody lightly. He's very good at focusing on the task in hand.
$18.
Well, that's not absolute perfect. Needed that cue ball down a bit straighter on these reds, so Might have to play a little cannon on the black, or can he screw through the gap between the black and the red? Now he's playing the cannon, but he played it pretty well.
19.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Mark Selby.
26.
A lot of the top players, that they won't play the wrong shot. It doesn't matter sort of the quality of the opponent. They just play the right shot almost every time. They don't take liberties.
27.
Because we've all seen it, Dominic, when you play the wrong shot or you take liberties, even if you look like you're dominating a match, one shot can turn a match around very, very quickly indeed.
Yeah, absolutely, Ken. Particularly in these best of 7 short sprints.
33.
The match can turn around very quickly. Selby just looking up at the scoreboard there to see what the frame situation is. He's 43 points to the good. The reason he's looking at the scoreboard so early really is because he knows that some of these reds are on cushion rails and not easy to get onto. So if he knows he can take high value colours with 2 open reds and make the frame safe, he will.
Okay. 34.
Overscrewed for the blue. He could play the green here, but he'll be mindful of the fact that he wants to be at least 52 points ahead as he approaches the 3 reds that are on cushion rails.
$39.
Yeah, once again, not perfect. This could have played that with a bit more pace and separated the cue ball. And all he can do is just drop this red in.
40.
So 50 points ahead. He needs the black. Still 51 remaining. But he's in a very strong position with the situation of the table. That's so good. Really is. Excellent stuff from Mark Selby. Cued up beautifully.
47.
Yes, I think with a couple of reds on cushion rails and the brown a little awkward, it took a little bit of the pressure off the pot. But the red hasn't quite found
Mark
the pocket
Selby,
there.
47.
Jiang Jun returning to the table. He's 57 behind, 51 remain, so 2 snookers required. A lot of work for the young Chinese to do to get back into this 4th frame, particularly against somebody with the experience of Mark Selby. But that was a superb shot, a direct screw back, all the way back down for the black. That's probably the best shot that we've seen from him in this match. Beautifully played, Ken.
Well, that was just a wonderful example of cue power there. Let's have a look at this again. Just watch the reaction he gets on the cue ball here. Dead straight, which is even more difficult. Beautiful shot.
Yes, it's only something you're able to do on these super fine, brand new cloths that we play on at all events, of course, on the snooker circuit. Try that in your club back at home. You'd be lucky to get beyond the blue spot.
Yeah, try that in the club at home. You might knock your shoulder out. But he's given himself a chance. That was a good pot. He will keep the last red on the table. Knock the red up the table and try and get the cue ball behind the pink and black.
16.
It's always good if you can keep the red close to a colour as well.
Jiang Jun 60.
Something like that, because that affords you the chance of the possibility of a free ball. Now, I don't know whether Mark Selby can swerve around this black. He's having a look at the score because he knows he's 41 ahead, but this is a big swerve. And if he misses the red from the left-hand side, he could leave a free ball. So it's important that he hits or separates the blue and red for sure. Oh, wow. That was a long way away. And he has left the free ball.
Foul.
But is the green potable?
4.
Well,
Jiang
what a
Jun,
turnaround.
Free ball.
Well, that was a mile off
Free
for
ball.
somebody like Mark Selby. All he had to... Well, he's left the green. Do you know, I'm astonished that Mark Selby's played that shot so poorly. Is he feeling a little pressured? I don't know, but all he had to do there was play the shot in such a way that if he goes past the red, the cue ball finishes on the baulk cushion and there isn't a potable ball on for Jiang Jun. But that, as Ken says, could really change the course of this frame now. He's looking at the scores again.
Yeah, I mean, even if he had hit the blue, Mark Selby there, his opponent would have still needed a snooker. You know, that you make sure you miss it on the low side as opposed to on the other side. So 37 points the difference. He's going to need the green, but at least he's got a chance now of a chance to try and win the frame from this position. Oh, has he hit it too hard? Needs to run. Oh, that's poor. That's such a poor shot. Needed to leave that in the middle of the table for a chance of blue or pink.
But why play down for the pink here? If he rolls the green in, he can play for the green, or he could run through for the yellow and he could still win the frame, and position to the last red would be pretty much a certainty. But he's played to play for a high value colour which he didn't need to pot. He's only 36 behind now with 35 on. Now what does he do here? If he wants to avoid the necessity of getting another snooker, he needs to try and pot a colour here. Failing that, he could bring the brown into play and try and snooker Mark Selby, but it does appear that he's going to attempt this pink, but it should have been a lot easier than this.
Yeah, he's got to take the pink on, give himself a chance. It's there. It's there. Good pot. Okay, the way he played it, he was never getting on the red. He was trying to just make sure, but he's still got a chance. He's still in the frame. I don't think this red pots into the yellow pocket. I don't think the cue ball has gone far enough. We'll see from the better angle. Well, it's pretty tight. He's having a good look at it, but does the red pot? Wow. Well, maybe it does. But when you're playing this with a little bit of bottom, Dominic, he's got to gauge the sort of the throw of the cue ball towards the blue as well, you know, and that's difficult. The ball's so close together.
Absolutely. Oh, that was a blue first. And the problem is with a shot like that, your first sight is normally the right one. If you look at it and you think it goes, it probably does. But if you keep having second and third looks at it, it's probably not on. And I think he tried to convince himself there that that red would go. Again, though, he hit it so hard. Blue clearly struck first there. So snooker's required. Well, actually, he's 35 behind. with 35 on, so he can still tie, but Mark Selby, as you can see, not giving him a look at this red, and that's a superbly played safety shot from Mark Selby. Wow, good escape, but I think he's left the red on. He's put the black safe anyway, which he'd need. So surely Mark Selby now can finally put paid to this fourth frame.
1.
Been a bit of a nervy frame. A couple of unusual mistakes from Mark Selby. Jiang Jun had his chances. Mark Selby attempted a difficult red into the right corner, double kissed it. Jiang Jun was right in, but couldn't capitalise. Another cut pot from Mark Selby. The yellow doesn't pass the green, but he just wanted the assurance of
7.
6 points there, which will probably prohibit Jiang Jun from returning to the table now.
Mark Selby 7 and the frame.
And indeed, Jiang Jun nods his head. So the concession comes from the young Chinese, and it's Mark Selby now who's 3-1 ahead and just 1 frame away from victory.
Thank you. The 5th frame, Jiang Jun to break.
Yeah, decent break off from Jiang Jun. And he's at the point of no return. And his next error could be, well, his last in this year's championship. He's got to be so careful. He did have a great chance there. Oh, look at this for a shot. Almost behind the yellow. He hasn't been afraid to go for his shots, I'll give him that, even though he has been pointed out. He has hit the balls very, very hard. You sort of, on these super fine cloths, you sort of lose control when you hit them so hard. You got to stroke the balls in. But this is nicely stroked in indeed. Great shot.
Should be able to come off the right-hand side cushion and rest the cue ball into the reds just below the pink, but it's got to be judged well because there are numerous reds that you could leave on if you play it poorly. Would be a little bit of a risk, I think, to play any other shot here.
Yeah, once again, great crowd in for the first day. A little apologetic wave from Mark Selby. And that was a nice little rub off the brown.
Okay, thank you.
It is a great venue, isn't it, Don? We've been coming here for a few years now, but it's always been great enthusiasm, great crowds, wonderful atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely, Ken. These Home Nations events, the Northern Ireland Trophy, Scotland, of course, Wales, the English Open, they're very well attended. The setup's pretty much identical, all sponsored by the same company, and there's lots of space as well around the table, which is always nice. Commodious surroundings benefit the players, and it creates a great atmosphere. No idea who that gentleman was, but certainly recognise the top that he's wearing with the 3 Welsh feathers there, ostrich feathers.
There's a couple of front row queens as well, enjoying the snooker today. Thumbs up. Obviously haven't turned off the earpieces because we were here.
Oh, one of them just covered her top over there with a cardigan.
Well, as he left this red into the left centre, it was a dangerous sort of shot he was playing. But it's the only shot he could possibly see. But looking at Mark Selby's body language, this red is on. It certainly is. No. And he's left it, I think. He certainly has.
Just seemed to jab that rather than stroke it. It's never easy when you're queuing over several balls, as Mark was there. But he certainly hasn't got away with it. Another great chance for Jiang Jun. He's had a few. Made that excellent break of 77 in frame 2, but has done little else since.
Yeah, the red to the right of the black. Well, the two reds, the one just below the black and the one to the right of the black. If you could put it in an area beyond those two reds, and it would free up, particularly the red just to the right of the black, it would free up the black into the right-hand corner pocket. So he's got plenty of margin for error here. Playing off 1, 2, 3 cushions. Needs to bounce off this cushion. Yeah, that'll do.
3.
Play a nice little delicate stun shot and just hold for the black into the same pocket.
Four.
And he'd like to play for this red just to the right of the black, just to, so you'd have the black available into both corner pockets. He's having a look at another red. There's a pot into the right corner, but if you could hold the cue ball for this red into the right corner, just to the right of the black, it'd be, well, that would certainly present a wonderful opportunity for a big break here. Couldn't hold it for that, but he's got on the red. And he's still playing positively.
11.
Still thinking very clearly as well. It's a good sign.
Played that nicely too, so in potting this black, he can just stun into the red directly above it to hole 4. The red to the left of the black, to the same pocket.
$19. $20 clean back. 20. $27.
Well, there weren't any obvious loose reds that he could play for there, so went into them, and it hasn't worked out badly. Dead straight on this red would be better to just run through for the black. He's about 3/4 ball on it, so may not quite be able to hold for the black to the left corner here. Gone up for the blue.
28.
To judge the pace of it very nicely.
33. $34.
Judged that
36.
nicely. Perfect on the red, on the pink spot. And he also has the other red into the left corner, but he'd like to clear up the pink spot here. Could play for the black or for the pink. Well,
37.
it's not the best. Little shot he's played there. He should have needed a fuller contact on that second red just to hold and be a bit straighter on this pink. Good pot. Nice control of the cue ball. Played that well.
43.
Well, there you had the plan. He's nicely on this red into the right corner.
$44.
We said it a little bit too hard. Needed to be lower on this pink. Now, what can he do? Is there a red unavailable into the left corner? Just overhit it slightly.
Well, from that reaction, there's no way you can play for anything into this left corner, but there is a chance of a plant. It will have to be made. The two reds, as you can see, are set comfortably for the top jaw, but if you can get in right behind those reds, the plant could be made. Don't think the bottom red of that little quartet will pot into the left corner.
Yeah, it looks a little bit tight. Maybe he's looking at the planter. Well, there's a bit of a gap between the two reds, so has to need all due care and attention. This is missable if he doesn't get it right. If they were close together and dead set, it'd be no problem, but he's got to make it. Yeah, he had to make it. It wasn't a gimme.
Jiang Jun, 50.
And look what he's left. He's left Mark Selby a great chance here. He may be 50 ahead, but that lead could soon evaporate with the situation of the table for Mark Selby.
Well, that was a long way off. Mark Selby normally very good in situations like this, but he just seemed to apply a little bit of backspin to the cue ball there. That wasn't pure topspin, and that's why he's low on the black. So needs to play a cannon here into one or two reds, Mark Selby, to give himself a chance of being on his next red, and the black is missable.
Mark Selby.
I don't think he's that confident, Ken, at the moment, is he?
Well, he's gone off the boil, hasn't he? Slightly. He missed that red into the middle pocket. And what has he left? Well, he's got away with it because that black has covered the pocket. He was very lucky there, Mark Selby. Black didn't cover the pocket, it was frame over for sure. But yeah, he slightly just lost his concentration. Something's happened because, I mean, the way he was playing earlier, looked invincible. But that could rectify his demeanour for sure. That was a wonderful safety shot, tight to the ball cushion. He's got to find a really good connection here, the young man from China, Jiang Jun. There's pressure on every shot for him now, of course, back against the wall. He's got to hit this well.
Well, he nearly got away with that because he struck the top cushion and then the red, which was unintentional. And as you can see, this red will pop past the black, and ordinarily I would expect Mark Selby to knock this in. He can stun into the red to the right of it and hold for pink or black. Big shot this for Mark Selby, who's low on confidence at the moment. But that's gone in. Is he on the black? Cue ball just ran through. I don't think he is on it. He isn't. And the pink to the centre is far from ideal.
He might refuse the pink here, you know. Okay, 6 points might be worth it, but you're certainly not going to get on a red. He may just elect to either pot the pink for the 6 points, play a safety shot. Looks like he's just going to drop the pink in. Certainly missable, this. Good pot. Well played.
Now, Ken, I've got to ask you, because you like a double, don't you? Do you think Mark would attempt the double here?
7.
No, I don't think so. Too risky. He's still in the game. Bring the red off the cushion. Well, only look doubles, Dominic, if you're paying for them.
Well, that will never happen.
Mark Selby, 7.
Yeah, I think if it would have been a straight double, it would have been a little more of a consideration. But as Ken said, it would have been an absolute do or die shot. It would have had to go in. But Mark knows tactically, he certainly has the upper hand on Jiang Jun. So he'll expect to win this tactical exchange, and he has brought one of the awkward reds into play, and there's pressure on this safety. Ricochet off the top jaw of the centre pocket may not be particularly harmful on this occasion. There are a couple of half chances at reds, but nothing, I don't think, that will tempt Mark Selby.
Well, I wonder. Will the man in the studio there attempt this red down the rail with the rest? A lot more confident than most players. One of the best players with the rest, Karen Wilson. It may be worth taking on, but certainly Mark Selby doesn't like it. He's going to be a little bit more patient.
Oh yes, Kyron, of course, would rifle that red in with the rest, screw back for the blue, and the frame would be over in 5 minutes. But not everybody is as confident as Kyron Wilson is with the rest. Considered by many to be the best.
really good safety shot there. The young man. There is a gap between the blue and pink for this red. He's got to be careful, doesn't knock a red towards that left corner pocket. Well, it's not near the pocket, but he has certainly left it on.
Yeah, and if he were to play it plain ball, which he'll probably have to do because of the proximity of the cue ball to the baulk cushion, the cue ball may just avoid the two reds behind the black spot, but there won't be much in it. If he misses it too thinly, he will catch the reds.
That little double kiss on the red has been very, very fortunate for Jiang Jun, because that red was going over that green pocket and just stopped it in its tracks slightly, took the pace out of it. And that's not potable. Well, it's potable, but he certainly won't be taking it on. And he's left it. Not a great shot from Mark Selby, so the young man just preparing himself as he comes to the table. A little wipe of his hands in the cue and getting ready to take this red on. Big shot for him, keep himself in the match.
Three tables in operation here at Venue Cymru. There's a little bit of noise coming from the auditorium that's just beginning to put Jiang Jun off a little bit. But as Ken says, this is a vitally important red. But
we settle the noise down, please.
Referee John Pellew from Llanelli just asking the audience members to be as quiet as they can be. It's a big shot this for Jiang Jun. It could be his last if he makes a mistake. But beautifully cued.
One.
Now is he on a colour? He's not safe yet. He's 43 ahead, so still needs a couple more reds to make the frame safe. Does the yellow pass the brown? It doesn't.
Well, he cued it in so nicely, didn't he? I mean, he's a little bit unlucky to finish there. He'd be a brave man to take black or blue on here. Could just roll up behind the yellow. Could try and put maybe the yellow safe. Wouldn't be a bad option. Put it onto the right hand side cushion. Okay, he wouldn't get the snooker, but
blue ball.
Well, as I said, he'd be a brave man. That's exactly what he's doing. He's taking this blue on. Well, that's incredible. That is absolutely brilliant. What a brave, brave shot from the young 20-year-old.
6.
Well, one thing's for certain, Ken, it didn't roll off.
7.
Well, you just have to admire a shot like that. I mean, he could have easily rolled up to the yellow. He could have put the yellow safe. But to take it on, knowing full well if he misses it, he was going to be leaving that red and a chance for his opponent to win the match. But nicely in. And well played.
"13."
He's just read to be absolutely sure. Yeah, he just made sure of it all
14.
right. He's some putter. I know he hits the ball hard, but he is such a wonderful, confident putter. Great to see.
19. $20. $26. $27.
He really is pulling out some shots here, and
32.
with such ferocity. Where's this yellow going to go? Just into the middle,
34.
as casually as that at that angle. What a shot.
$37. $41.
Well, when he came to the table, you didn't think he was going to get this far, but... Well, here we go. It's all happening.
46.
He's put his hand up to apologize. You don't have to apologise. This is one of the best clears you've ever seen. Even though he hasn't
52.
needed it, but the array of pots that he's come out with here. Where's the black? Wait for it. No, not this
Jiang
time.
Jun,
But what a
52
wonderful break
unfair.
from Jiang Jun there. 50 and 52. He keeps his hopes alive. The match is still on, but Selby leads 3-2.
Quick as possible, please. The give, 6th frame, Mark Selby to break.
Yes, it would be interesting to hear the thoughts of Mark Selby should he progress to round 2. He's going to have a fight on his hands because he's beginning to make a few mistakes. His pot success is now at 95%. It was 100 for quite a while. He hasn't potted a ball for getting on for 11 minutes. But this is at the stage of the match now in these best of 7s where the pressure can really tell when it's tight like this, just one frame between them. Mark Selby,
thank you.
probably more able to put adversities and disappointments behind him than his younger opponent is. But he is beginning to show signs of being very dangerous, Jiang Jun.
Oh, didn't want to double kiss. That's a bad mistake. Well, Mark, you see the black and red, the black pots, so he's got to finish nice angle on the black. That you can just pot the black and just make a little brush off the red and bring the red and black back into play. But well, it could have been a little bit better. He's got to judge this nicely. Delicate little shot this. Nice. He wasn't perfect on that black. Could have been nicer. Played it with a bit more pace and
8.
hasn't judged the cannon too well. So this takes a bit of cueing. Missable, this is. Oh, he's got a good shot.
9.
That was a good pot.
I must confess, I wasn't sure that Mark Selby would knock that in from underneath that side cushion. It was a test of cueing. But now he's back in A1 position.
Here's Jiang Jun's
16.
opening gambit. It wasn't great. Double kiss could be very, very costly. It's a pay for snooker players, and you want a really good frame, pot some great balls to keep yourself in it, and then you go and
17.
pass the initiative back to your opponent on a sort of a straightforward shot, you would have to say, then he had the in front of him.
Interesting to see Mark Selby's shot time there at 23 seconds per shot played, which is pretty speedy, in spite of the fact that he's beginning to make a few mistakes. Sometimes he can become very laboured, Mark Selby, when he begins to struggle. But at the moment, these reds, well, many of them are in open play.
20.
He hasn't kept a good tight rein of the cue ball during the course of this break so far. I'd be looking to tidy things up a little in that respect.
Okay. 21.
There's one part of his game that we haven't mentioned yet, and of course it makes him also such a great player, and certainly one of the greats, is his temperament. His temperament is excellent. It really is.
Yes.
Even when he, as I said, like he has faded a little bit, concentration has faded a little bit, but he always finds a wonderful innate ability to be able to wipe the slate clean, put in a break when he needs it. He's certainly going to need it here, but he's shown that over the years. He's done it time and time again.
29.
Well, he certainly has a good angle on the black to go into the reds if he wishes to, but there are still 2 or 3 loose reds potentially that he could play for.
$36.
I'm a little bit surprised he didn't go into the pack there with the amount of cue power he has. Even if the reds didn't split up that nice, he still could have been on 2 of these reds into the left corner, but he's decided to
37.
be a little bit more conservative here. Be interesting to see, will he rue that decision? Because he's going to need to split the reds up at some stage to win the frame from this position.
40. $41.
Well, Ken has mentioned that Mark Selby could well have gone into the pack a few shots ago, and he may wish he had have done now. He's too straight on this black to go into them. May well have to come around the angles and play for the red closest to his hand.
Yeah, I think that shot or decision that he made, not going into the pack, it just probably tells a little bit about how he's feeling at the moment. Not as confident as he was a few frames ago when he knocked in that 137. Started off with a 123. Now this is his last chance.
48.
Pot this red and get a nice angle on the black.
I can't help but think there are better pack to go into from the blue than the black. He has to be very precise in the way that he plays into the reds from the black, if he gets the angle that he needs on the black, because that's no certainty from here. There's a lot of distance between this cue ball and the red. But you've got to pot the red first. That was a long way out.
Mark Selby,
But he doesn't
48.
appear to have done any obvious damage, and he has a healthy lead here in this frame that he requires a victory. So you still fancy him to win the tactical exchanges here and end up winning this frame, but there are no certainties in snooker, and there are no certainties surrounding the form of Mark Selby here this afternoon. to thinner contact, but I think he's been a little fortunate there. Now Mark Selby may be forced to play off the pack of reds here, something he doesn't really want to be doing with the advantage that he has, because he could bring reds into play and potentially leave a possible red on. But he may be forced to play off the reds here. Don't think he can get past the blue to play the loose red, or can he? Oh, he can do plenty with this. He's okay. He's more than okay if he could take it on and play for the black. What a pot that was from Mark Selby. That just came right out of the blue.
Well, this was excellent. Okay, he would have preferred not to get a little kiss. But he can still pot this black. Now, can he get on a red? Was he on this red into the right centre? He's having a good look. It must be pretty tight. Oh, you know, I'm not quite sure from that angle where it pots. Maybe not. He's looking at an alternative here. Too tight, too risky. Love to get a red safe though. Can he push a red onto his side cushion, or is he going to just play? It's a big target behind green and brown. Possibly off 3 cushions. He hasn't hit it hard enough.
Mark Selby, 8.
But still, got control and a good lead so far.
Yeah, he just about hidden the pack of reds using the green there, but I feel that Jiang Jun needs to leave the cue ball on the top cushion here, somewhere behind the black, because I don't think there'll be a possible ball on for Mark Selby. And given the predicament that he's in, it was too risky to play the cue ball back to bulk there.
He'd love to get the red safe here, Mark Selby. The red just to the right of the green. If you could push that onto the right-hand side cushion and cover that with green and brown and yellow, you'd have that as a little bit of insurance on the side cushion. Nothing potable in the pack from the left-hand side of the table. Has he underhit it, or is he okay? It's not tight to the cushion, as he would have liked, but he's okay. He's got the cover on it.
He needs to be careful here. There's a red that could go close to the corner pocket if he's not careful. Oh, he's okay. But he has underhit it slightly, but I think it's pretty safe, and the yellow is covering the red near the right side cushion. So no simple safety shot for Mark Selby to play here. Just wonder if he can play a shot and somehow contrive a way to tie up another red, or even put the black safe.
Well, that was a nervy one. And Jiang Jun will take the opportunity. Get this red off the cushion. As I said, a big target behind green and brown. He could have Mark Selby in all sorts of trouble if he gets this right. Could snooker him on all reds here. Oh, he's underhit it. He's underhit it. What an opportunity missed. That was poor.
Well, what would you play here, Ken? Would you take a risk and try and run the red down to the top cushion, get the cue ball tight in behind the blue? You couldn't leave a pot on.
Yeah, good choice, but the only problem there is if he doesn't get the red to the top cushion, he could leave a pot on into that bottom right corner pocket. But he may be playing it, but he's got to be so careful where the red. Make sure you get the red safe. He's played it well. He's played it very well. Excellent shot. Good call, Dominic.
Well, Jiang Jun comes to the table now in all sorts of trouble. 56 behind. He's going to try and rest the cue ball upon the 4 reds just below the pink. Got to be perfectly judged to pace here. And this is pacey. And I think that he may have left a red on past the black. Is the black blocking the pocket enough? It is. But is there a red just below the cue ball that will pop past the black? It's tight. He may have just about got away with this, Jiang Jun.
I think he's played it pretty well. He's got to be careful here, Mark Selby. Doesn't want to knock the red towards the pocket because the black will stop that coming away from the pocket and could possibly leave a red on. Made sure of getting the red safe, and it's not too bad.
This is the sort of frame that you would rarely see Mark Selby lose against an inexperienced opponent. But I think Jiang Jun's style of play is just perturbing Mark Selby a little.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think he's played a lot of positive shots in this frame, Mark Selby, even though he's got a good lead, but with a few chances. It could have been a lot more positive. Well, look at this for a shot. Needs to hold. Well, it's gone by the green. And this red, well, he's coming down to have a look at it. I think it's potable, you know. And he'd be definitely taking it on because he's got no other shot. Yeah, there's enough room. And he doesn't know exactly where the cue ball is going to finish. But if he'd be very unlucky if he's not on the black. But this is, well, as Colin Wilson said, go hard or go home. If this goes in, it could possibly win the frame. If he misses it, could cost him the match.
Wow, that was a superb pot, but he seemed to be striking down on the cue ball there, which was totally unnecessary. He almost struck the cue ball into the bed of the table there. He didn't need to play it that way. Just plain ball would have been fine, but it's gone in. I think he was expecting to cannon a red here, just to the left of the black as we look. But the cue ball avoided all cannons, and the black shouldn't be missed, but positionally he's got to be very careful here.
8.
Oh, the black only just struggled to go in, but he's on the red that's closest to the black spot, and he could potentially play up for the black again here, but this is a great chance now for Jiang Jun to take us into a deciding frame. He needs to just keep a good tight control of the cue ball and keep his nerve.
Nine. $15. 16.
Well, it's a case of holding yourself together and keeping a good cue ball here. Pink spot's covered, so the pink just pots past the red into this corner. You can hold for the red. It's closest to the corner pocket. No problem. Needs an angle that he can get back out. If he's dead straight, he may be able to screw straight back and just miss the pink. Prefer an angle to play it into the left corner. Looks pretty straight, so you have to screw back.
$23.
There's nothing really difficult to red just below the pink. It's a couple of inches off the cushion, so there's plenty of room there, so it shouldn't be a problem. And these two reds both pot into the left corner. And taking a bit more time. Every ounce of concentration here from the young man.
29.
Can he hold himself together?
$30. Just overran a fraction, which means he can't just drop the blue in dead weight and naturally fall onto the red that's on the pink spot. He could easily rebound the cue ball off the top cushion and come back up for that red near the pink spot, but he could stand down for the red below the pink. It's a slightly more difficult pot though, but he'll need to pot that red anyway to get back in the frame. He's still 26 points adrift.
$35.
Yeah, anywhere but straight, and he's left himself a nice angle. And this is a good red to play for. Didn't want to play for the red on the pink spot, because then the pink could go on the pink spot. So all he has to do is drop this red in. It'd be natural angle on the pink to follow. It's just a few little noises. And I was wondering whether he was going to play the shot or just compose him, recompose himself. Well,
36.
went in, it wasn't in the middle, but he's okay. He's got a nice angle.
Yes, Mark Selby looking a little concerned, but there's still work to do. This pink is a little thinner than it needed to be. But he's got it, and he's on the red if the cue ball just runs a little more. Now, I wonder if you'll consider playing for the black here, because
42.
one slight problem that he's got to contend with is playing from the yellow to the green, which will only pop really into the yellow pocket. The black isn't really in the way for that, but it's always nice to have the high value colours on or near their spots. Don't think Jiang Jun would need the final black, so don't think it matters that it's on the green spot.
$43.
You know, I think he tried to play for the black. It was a little bit tentative, but he's okay. He's got an angle. He can pot the yellow and bounce that cue ball. Or maybe he can even screw back for the yellow. Just needs an angle, though, for the next yellow to get on that green. It's not bad. Needs to play this with a little bit of right-hand side.
45.
Oh, it's a little bit short of pace, is it?
47.
Short of pace.
Didn't seem to play it with any side spin at all there, just played it plain ball, so the green would have been from distance a little anyway, even if he had run far enough, but seemed to just take the pressure off the pot by not playing it with side, and as Ken said, he's a long way short there.
Well, that was a wonderful recovery. And being a left-hander, he won't need any rest or anything. But again, he's got to control the pace. Needs brown, blue and pink to force it a cider.
Good pot on the brown.
54.
Needs that cue ball to keep going or stop. Well, he played for it into the right centre, but he's on it quite nicely, it would appear, to the right corner. Mark Selby better prepare himself here for a deciding frame. 2 pots needed, doesn't need the black. Just need to play this with topspin, come off the side cushion, he'll be on the pink. Oh, just could have done with being a touch straighter, but he should be able to get onto the pink. Oh, he just can't settle himself. I think he's second-guessing himself a lot at the moment. Average shot time, 37 seconds during the course of this break. Well, the blue's there. Is he on the pink? Needs that to keep going. It's
59.
got there. That's okay. He's left-handed. He can reach this.
White, yes.
Mark Selby hoping and praying for a mistake. But if Jiang Jun can just hold himself together, he'll be going the distance. He's got it. He's got the pink. He doesn't need to worry about the black. He knows that. That was a superb frame from Jiang Jun. Mark Selby was in control of it. He had a 56-point lead. It wasn't enough. Jiang Jun, with that winning clearance of 65, takes us to 3-all. What a match.
Decided frame. Jiang Jun to break.
So the customary handshake between the two players. And the 7th and deciding frame is about to begin. And all I can say is that it's Jiang Jun that has the momentum.
Possibility of a pot here for Mark Selby, but the way the match has gone, certainly no gimme it is. He hasn't taken it on. I don't blame him. Just lost his confidence, lost a little bit of concentration. Had a good lead in that last frame, but it was always the danger. The balls were open, one chance, could do it. But how well did he take that chance, that young man? So his tail is up, he's feeling confident, but we always say, it's the old cliche, you just want one chance in the final frame. Sometimes it never comes, but I'm just vying for that chance. Get some points on the board. I think he's got the cover on the red beside the blue. There's always a danger that he could have left that. But a decent shot from Mark Selby. So now his opponent has got a slight problem here. Plays the cue ball back into the bulk area. He's got to be careful he doesn't leave that red for Mark Selby. Playing it with a bit of pace. Needs to avoid the brown. And he has done. Excellent shot. Very, very good. You always take a chance when you play a shot like that because you just never know where red is going to go. Particularly when you're crashing into a few of them, there's always the possibility that one is going to pop his head over a pocket, and that's exactly what's happening. With the way this young man can pot, Mark Selby sitting in the chair will be pretty fearful. This young man is going to knock this red in. And if he does, and gets on a colour, well, it's an excellent chance, but there's pressure on it. He's not happy. He's edgy. It's starting to take a long time, and that's not a good sign either. He's a pretty instinctive player, but he's got to... I know there's a lot at stake. It's a big, big match for him. And he's got to give it all. And he set himself up. Here we go. Can he knock it in? What a shot. Is he on the black? Is he on? He certainly is. What a wonderful pot from Jiang Jun. Now, what can you do here? As I said, if he gets on a colour, lots of reds in the open. Wonderful opportunity. And Mark Selby knew when he sat in his chair, he left that red on. There was a possibility. The young man's going to knock it in. Now, what can he make of it?
Well, he has a slightly awkward angle on this black. If he screws back from the black, he'll cannon into the red just above the black spot. And as you can see there, it's not the ideal angle, but it was a great red to get in with. He can just find one good positional shot here. Could be up and running. That blue where it is a little bit awkward, to say the least. So playing a power stun. Is he on the red to the right corner? If he isn't, he's got a problem.
8.
Don't think it goes. Drama.
I think he can pot this and just play it with a little bit of side and hold for the pink here. Shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, no problem.
9.
And the pink will possibly go on the blue spot, which is okay. A couple of reds into the left corner may follow the pink here. Well, he's screwing back, so. Playing for, yeah, perfect. He wants to stay down this end of the table.
15.
I'm just looking at the performance of Mark Selby through this match. Since that 137 total clearance in the third frame, he's only made breaks of 47 and 48.
16.
But that's a little bit of a mistake. Too much angle on the black. He'll be cannoning into the red next to it here in potting this black. Mark Selby hoping and praying for a mistake. It may come positionally here. Jiang Jun has a bit of a problem.
Right. Ben, can you stop the clock a minute for the sit down?
Yeah, because it's quite open. There is movement
Okay,
when
thank
the
you,
other
Ben.
frames stop, but it's something that you have to get used to. It was such a nervy time for this young man here. One of the biggest matches of his career. Yeah, because that red was in the way, it wasn't the ideal angle that he had. Unless he can
23.
find a good pot here, he's not going to get much more. Yeah, looks like his chance is gone. That was a wonderful chance, but just one little shot from the red holding for the black. Didn't get the right angle. And scuppered his chance, it looks like. Does have a red into the right centre, but very, very dangerous. I think a run to the baulk area is probably the right shot here.
Jiang Jun, 23.
Well, that is not a good shot from Jiang Jun. It hasn't put enough pressure, I don't think, on Mark Selby, who may just be able to cut a red here into the left corner, as long as the cue ball avoids the black. I'm not entirely sure it would. The red that's closest to the black, the one that's to the left of the black, could be cuttable. But as I say, does the cue ball go around the back of the black, or does it cannon into it? Well, Mark Selby will know. Not playing the red that I'm suggesting. Is he considering another?
Doesn't want the cue ball going into the pocket. Doesn't want it going into the pocket. He's okay. He's got away with it, and he's blocked the red into the right middle pocket as well. Oh, he's left his opponent well. It's not going to be easy getting back to the ball carrier. He may not attempt it. He may play a containing safety shot and leave the cue ball down the top end of the table behind the black somewhere. Way too risky to try and get that cue ball back into the ball carrier. But if that cue ball had dropped into the pocket, well, that would have been curtains for Mark Selby, the defending champion.
Snooker really is a game of fractions, and certainly was there, as Ken says, just an inch to the right. That cue ball would have found the pocket, and I think Jiang Jun would have fancied his chances of winning frame a match with the ball in hand, but he is indeed in a lot of trouble here. And in a situation like this, you've just got to find the easiest way of not leaving a pot on for your opponent. But even that isn't a certainty here. There are too many reds you could cannon into. You could double kiss something. This is the last sort of shot that Jiang Jun wants to be playing under this pressure. Reds all over the place. One mistake could be so costly.
He's left the red. It was a good attempt, but he has left the red. But, well, there's pressure on it. There's no gimme in with the reds. One red near the blue spot, the other one just above the brown. He will be leaving a red should he miss this. So it's not as if it's a shot to nothing. Big shot for Selby here. No. He was always going to leave the red, and he was under real pressure, and that was a nervy one. So what a chance for the young man.
Yeah, he's really feeling it, Mark Selby, at the moment. Normally when you miss those, he'd miss them on the thick side. All at 6s and 7s at the moment, Mark Selby. And he'll be lucky to get back into this frame. Be lucky to return to the table.
I think the only thing for Jiang Jun that he's up and down off the shot quite a lot. He's obviously feeling a lot of pressure. It's understandable. But sometimes that can confuse you, cloud your mind, your judgment, your focus. He normally plays at a brisk pace, but his average shot time now has gone up to 35 seconds.
I'm just wondering, Ken, whether Mark Selby would have been more comfortable playing somebody that he knows and has played before. They've never played these two, and of course, from Mark Selby's point of view, Jiang Jun's a bit of an unknown quantity, and he seems to have been unsettled for a lot of phases of this match, Mark Selby.
Oh, wow.
Jiang Jun, 5.
What an opportunity missed. Well, that's what I'm saying. He's just up and down. He's taken probably too much time and sort of confusing himself and being, you know, more self-assured. That was a wonderful opportunity for him. Now, all of a sudden, if Mark Selby can knock this red in, certainly not easy. Cue ball going back towards the bulk area. Sort of a free shot here, really. No problem. How's the pace? Oh, it's too hard. He needs a kiss, and he's not going to get it.
One.
I'll be so disappointed with that. He'd be delighted the red went in, but disappointed with position.
Well, there'll be lots of players that would take the brown on if the angle was good. Mark Selby, is he considering the yellow as a possible option into the centre pocket, or does he want to roll in behind it? I think the way he's feeling, he won't be taking a pot on here.
It's also such a nervy shot, isn't it? At this stage of a match, just to try and roll up dead weight behind the yellow. I mean, it's a brave, brave shot. I think if it was me, I'd be playing the green here and try and get that cue ball tight to the ball cushion. And that's exactly what he's going to play. Take the risk out of it, but don't leave a free shot for his opponent.
Mark Selby, 1.
It's nowhere near the ball cushion, and he has left a possible pot. And the way this man can knock the long ones in, well, when you're sitting in your chair, you're always fearful that he can pot anything.
Goodness me. Again, just hit with such ferocity. He could have stroked that in, got the cue ball around the angles, but he just seems to hit at the ball. He doesn't stroke it. Whenever he plays a long pot from distance, it seems. Now, I don't know whether that's just nerves and pressure, or whether he plays like that anyway. Oh, but goodness me, Mark Selby's Mr. Dolly Red. Well, I can scarcely believe what I'm seeing, Ken.
Well, it just shows you what this game can do to the best. I mean, he was almost invincible the way he started. 123 in the first, 137. Frame 3, and didn't miss the ball. He was 100% pot success for 3.5 frames. But the confidence is slowly drained out of him for the moment. This match has really turned around on its head. But for Jiang Jun, I mean, the confidence when you see a 4-time world champion, defending Welsh champion, miss a ball like that. But he's got to find one pot. Red into the left corner, or this long red into the bottom right corner. Can he find one? Oh, again, very, very hard. Why does he hit the ball so hard? Doesn't need to.
Yeah, and it's a part of his game that worries me a little bit for the future. You can't play snooker this way and be successful. And as well, he's 20 years old and he's averaging 35 seconds a shot. That's unusual in itself. Well, that was another great shot, a great chance rather for Mark Selby. I didn't expect him to miss that red either into the left centre. But I think, you know, when players begin to make mistakes in a situation like this in a deciding frame, the nerves transfers from one player to the other. That was a great chance again.
Well, he certainly needs to pull up his socks, I know that.
shaping up to take another long red on. He's been close with a couple, but goodness me, he's been rifling them in.
Well, he couldn't have played that much better. Tight to the ball cushion. Needs a good connection on this red. Try and get it back down behind the yellow if you can, or somewhere between yellow and the pocket. And he's played this pretty good. He'd be happy with that. He'd be very, very happy with that indeed.
I think if you're Mark Selby, you just want to play safety shots that don't give an opportunity of a pot to your opponent.
Well, let's have a look. Is he on this red into the... He is, but extremely dangerous. And the way he sort of started off this frame, he may not take it on. I don't blame him. He's not taking it on. He wants an easier chance. Don't always come. And that is well short.
On the surface, he certainly looks very calm and in control, but beneath the surface, I think the opposite is true. Major, major match this for Jiang Jun. If he can take the scalp of somebody such as Mark Selby, who's of course our defending champion, what a scalp it would be.
Well, that's the one he wanted. And it's given him a great chance now. Excellent pot. Control. With a nice cannon on the red to hold for blue, black, green. Will Mark Selby take part in the rest of this championship, or is the defending going out? What a shock this would be.
Oh, but Ken, you can't keep second-guessing yourself like this, can you, in situations like this? You've got to be firm with your shot choices.
Yeah, totally agree. And that's the problem. Like, just keep.
Hey.
You're breaking your rhythm. He's okay though. He's got a red into the left centre, but he doesn't have that rhythm that he did have earlier on. It's just second guessing himself. But he's only a young man. He's learning the game, learning to play in situations like this. Has got to a quarter-final before, but
9.
when you're playing a player the stature of Mark Selby on the main stage, it's a daunting experience. But the way he's come back in this match has been absolutely brilliant. Crowd haven't moved there, enthralled by it as we are here in the commentary box. If I was relaying any advice to him, I'd say be a little bit more proactive, a little bit more positive in your shot choice. Because that's what happens.
16.
And he is nervous, isn't he, Ken? I mean, the second he struck this, he was up off the shot in an instant. I mean, the black was barely in the pocket before he was standing up, and I mean, he had to trust to a little bit of luck to be on the previous red, and it did so again there by cannoning the same 3 balls, and this time it appears he's on nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure Mark is probably getting a little bit frustrated. It's 36 seconds a shot. It's very pedestrian.
Jiang Jun, 16.
But he's keeping the pressure on. Okay, another chance missed, but he's still keeping the pressure on the defending champion. But has he missed the boat with those couple of chances? They were glorious chances, weren't they? Just missed positional shots, misread into the right middle earlier on in the frame. What's Mark Selby got in the tank? That's the question. Can he pull out a good pot here? Get on the colour, give himself a chance. Oh, this red is going over the middle pocket. Is it potable? I think it is, you know.
Do you know, I never thought for a moment that red would run enough, but I think it has. But my goodness, it's a thin cut with no positional guarantees, but with the colours dotted around the table the way they are, you'd have to fancy him to be on something.
Well, he'll settle for that. Great pot. Nicely on the blue. Mark Selby looks on. Is he going to get another chance? Glance at the score. Okay, he could play for blue.
6.
Possibly brown, even yellow off this red. Plenty of options.
Seven.
Now, the 2 reds together by the pink spot, do either of them pot into the right corner? Well, certainly the left one wouldn't. Does the top one? The one to the right pot? He's having a look. I'm not sure. It's difficult to tell. But I don't think they're available. But the red closest to the pink and the green is easy to get onto here, to the centre pocket. He just does not trust himself, does he? Gets down to play a shot, then he's up again looking at something else.
He played out well.
6.
Forced the cue ball down, lots of power. Listen, for the referee to clean the cue ball. I don't think there's anything on it. I think he just wants to take a bit more time and just compose himself. He keeps looking at the score. 55 ahead, so red, get the pink. Well, it's gone a little bit far for pink, and green is possibly no good. He may take the blue and play that red in bulk. Blue and put him 62 in front with 67 remaining. Just this red to leave Mark Selby needing a snooker. It's a little bit awkward, but he doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball. Just pot the red, he'll be on the brown. There'll be certainly no heroics with this brown. Just make sure the points are very valuable, even though Mark Selby already needs a snooker, but the extra 4 points will make it a bit more difficult. He'll certainly come back to the table, Mark Selby, but it's going to be a tall order to get back. This young man, he's held himself together really well. He's had a few chances, but he's potted some amazing balls, it has to be said.
Jiang Jun, 23.
.66 behind, just 59 on, 2 snookers required. So Mark Selby would like to remove 3 of the 4 remaining reds with very high value colours to try to get a free ball with 1 remaining red. But yellow, green and brown are a lovely target up in bulk there to try to get the cue ball in behind. But is Mark Selby striking the cue ball well enough to get the snookers he requires? I think he can see enough of this red to pot it, and frame and match will be over if he can get it.
he plays this red that cue ball is close to, he's got to be careful that he doesn't push it for a start. No. It could be a push if he hits this wrong. Oh, that was okay. But Mark Selby will take this red on, you would feel. He's having a look. He's 66 points behind. The red, just to the right of the black, would be a possibility if he got on the pink. No, doesn't like it. He's playing the red. Up into the yellow pocket and trying to hold for the pink there. No, long way away. And that's exactly what's happened with Mark Selby since he was 3-1 up. He's completely gone off the boil. But of course, this young man has been part of that, the way he's played. It's just long ball game has been exceptional. What a wonderful putter, and that's it. Champion is out. And a 3-1 down. And the way Mark Selby was playing, no one could have foreseen this result. But you'd have to say, Dominic, it's an incredible performance from 3-1 down.
Yeah, absolutely, Ken. It's a match and a victory he'll never forget for the rest of his career, I'm sure. It's an important stepping stone for him. But you can't help but feel that Mark Selby's allowed him into this match.
Yeah, the handshake's going to come from Mark Selby, the defending champion. But what a victory for Jiang Jun, the young 20-year-old from China. Has caused a major upset here in the first day of the Welsh Open in Llandudno. He defeats the defending champion by 4 frames to 3. What a win.